Do you want to know how amazing people connect? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie.
Thanks for connecting. And if you like what you hear, please share.
Special thank you to our sponsors of Marketing with Russ, Hazella Bake Shop, and the Alzheimer's Association. For more information about Hazella Bake Shop and their amazing baked goods in Lebanon, Oregon, go to hazellabakeshop.com, or better yet, visit them in Lebanon. And for more information on the Alzheimer's Association and how to give to this amazing organization, go to alz.org, or in the comments there's a link to the Walk Into Alzheimer's giving page as well. Ta-da! Welcome to Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie. So glad to have you here today, and it is going to be a great Thursday. I'm telling you, I'm really excited because you're here. And you know what? This community makes all the difference. And I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you, how much I appreciate everybody that's connected with me, because that's what it's really all about. This show is all about how amazing people connect. I am a true believer that connection and community building is the foundation for any good marketing plan, any good business, any good life, really. And so I want to encourage you to connect and do that today. Don't be shy. In the comments, start saying hi to your friends, ask us questions, do whatever. And whether we are able to get to those questions or not will be a different thing. But yeah, we can always respond in the comments. So appreciate you being here today and being part of this community. We want to know you're here, so definitely let us know. So I have been so blessed with people like my guest Meaghan today, who are just amazing and have so much value to add and just bring so much life to this show. So I'm appreciative of that. But I want to tell you the connection is really where it starts with me. Rushhedge.com is the place to connect. Rushhedge.com. If you know my name out of .com, you're all good. You can go there. You can connect on any social media. My phone number, my email, my actual calendar is there. You can connect directly, schedule time on my calendar. I'd love to connect with you. Also, please subscribe on YouTube. Our YouTube community is slowly growing, and we want to get more and more, and it gives you the great opportunity to have access to all the past amazing 300 plus shows of amazing content that you're going to want to see. Also, you can get notices about upcoming content as well. And you just go to marketingwithruss.live. Marketingwithruss.live is the place to go. That's where you go to go directly to my page. And so we try to make it easy for you. There you go, marketingwithruss.live. Also, if you would share this out, that would be so awesome. Share, because it doesn't matter whether you're watching live or on replay, you can still share this out. Let your friends know, tag your friends, tell them, hey, you don't want to miss Meaghan. There's great stuff coming up. And so today, I am so blessed to have her here. So share this out. Let everybody know. And last but not least, if you've not got your copy of my book, Befuddled, Live the Life You Choose, it's an encouraging book there for you to help me encourage and inspire you through written form. And also, while I'm talking about written form, if you're not subscribing to my LinkedIn newsletter, That is a weekly newsletter that goes out. I'd love to have you part of that as well. Subscribe to that as well. But thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to come here, add value to you, because I can tell you all, you add value to me, and I appreciate that. So, with that, I think we are good to go. I'm going to get Meaghan on here and get the show started. Here we go. Ta da! How's it going,
Hi,
Meaghan?
good. How are you?
I'm doing so good. I was thinking about you coming on because I love manufacturing, and that whole discussion started with my good friend Dave, who who I was kidding one time on the show and
Mhm.
telling him that he was so good at making things sound exciting, and Dave Chrysler does a great job, but I told him, really manufacturing is boring and you just make it sound exciting. And I
Yeah.
knew that that would get all this stuff. So now it's
Yeah.
become the inside joke with all the manufacturing peeps that I know because I've been able to be part of that manufacturing community. And so
Mhm.
it's always makes me smile when I think about that. So anyway, great to have you here. Hey, give everybody a little snapshot. Who is Meaghan and what are you all about?
Yeah, so I just want to start off by saying thank you for inviting me. I've been a fan of your show for a while now, and I really enjoy everybody that you have on who shares their stories. So thank you. I'm very blessed to be here. I'm Meaghan Ziemba. By trade, I am a tech writer for industrial manufacturers. So I don't think manufacturing is boring at all. I think that there are individuals in the sector who aren't very good at expressing the exciting things about manufacturing and engineering. So I have made a living off of finding that story, finding that value, and making it exciting for the audience who is looking in and not necessarily outward. So it's been a great career. I've been writing for industrial manufacturing since 2008. And then 3 years ago, I started my own business called Z Inc. Solutions. And my tagline there is this isn't your grandmother's writing anymore. So I like to add edginess to my voice and tone when it comes to writing. I like to be authentic. I like to be transparent and not so salesy, but just, this is who we are. This is how we provide value. This is how we can solve your problems. But here we are as our authentic selves. And, everybody that's involved in engineering and manufacturing, I strongly believe are the salt of the earth people. And they're hard workers and they love what they do and they're very passionate about it. So I try to express that in my writing. And then I also started Mavens of Manufacturing around the same time, and that is a podcast dedicated to the women who are in the sector and just giving them the space to provide, who they are as their authentic selves and allow them to showcase their skill sets as well as share their experiences so that hopefully we can get the next generation really inspired to join the sector because right now we have a lot of open positions. There's a lot of articles out there about how our national security might be at risk because we don't have enough manufacturers supplying enough goods. So hopefully we can start getting the next generation really excited and join the wonderful career pathways that are available.
Yeah, well, I want to tell you first of all that I love what you started with. Everybody loves a good story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
you really dive in and find that story, and you are trying to relate that very authentically. And that's what people are really looking for now. Is really they're
yeah,
looking for authenticity. They're looking for somebody that's really going to be not just transparent, but just be real with them, right?
yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's kind of a unique thing, unfortunately, with a lot of industries. But I was actually going back to my joke with Dave about manufacturing being boring. I was giving him a compliment as I was kidding him all at the same
Mm-hmm.
time because he is very good at expressing that and making it exciting. And so back to writing with you, so many people need that. They don't know how to share the good story. They don't know how to share things that really grip people and get them interested. So give us some more insight on how you do that.
Yeah, so it's really not as complicated as some people might think it is. I just really sit down with my clients and I listen. I let them talk how they want to talk. I don't set up high expectations for the conversation. I think a lot of people are afraid that they might say something wrong or they might offend someone, where I really, I'm fairly neutral in a lot of my beliefs. I don't sway one way or the other. I like to do my research, and I like, when opinions clash, because I think that's how we learn from one another. We shouldn't agree on everything all the time. We should have disagreements. We should be able to have our own personal beliefs. So I set up the conversation right away by letting people know that this is a safe space. And yes, I might not agree with what your beliefs are or what your opinions are, but I will respect them, and we can have a crucial conversation around that and an open dialogue. And I think that helps people become comfortable around me personally, and then they're able to open up and just be who they are without, worrying about if they're going to offend me or not. I've pretty thick skin. I'm the youngest of six, so I've learned to
Wow.
be a scrapper from day one. So I don't get offended very easily when people are themselves. I learned that I I I learned to understand that we all have our own personal experiences. So the way that I take information might not be the same as someone else who takes it. And a really good book that I want to mention is called Crucial Conversations, and that's a great book to get tips on how to take yourself out of your own perspective and view it from another person's perspective, and just be more empathetic and compassionate to their personal experience.
Who's that book by?
Oh, it's by several different authors, and
Oh,
I
okay.
don't
Oh, it's
remember them,
fine.
but I can Google them.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
It's
No,
a long list of authors.
I'm just busy taking notes, writing that down because I wanted to look that up. But this is one thing I think that it's the way you come at it. You provide a safe space, like you said. A lot of people are very guarded. They're very guarded in what
Mhm,
they share and all of that, and they're afraid, like you said, what people are going to think of them and all that. When they know it's okay to open up, and really, let's face it, in our world, we'd have a much more loving, happy space if people were like that more often. Around is just really being accepting of people. Doesn't mean you have to agree with everything they're doing. It doesn't mean you have to change up and actually change your beliefs, but you can still be open to listening, open to people. And I think when you
mhm.
accept people for who they are. And then, you go from there. Some people click, some people don't. But in a conversation where you're trying to get a good feel for them as far as writing, I just think that's so crucial because you really want to hear from them. And when you hear that heart, that's when those stories come out, right? That's when
Yeah.
those little nuggets come out that you can use.
Absolutely. And I think too, another thing that is helpful when I'm talking to the people that I'm writing for is I let them know that I'm not going to publish anything without their approval. So they get a chance to see how I'm representing them. And if there's anything that they want to change or take out or add, I'm more than willing to include that information, as long as it's not something that's completely hateful or discriminatory towards a specific group or community. Then I'm all about sharing those stories. But again, the way that we're going to learn from one another and move forward as a society, as a community, is we have to start having these uncomfortable conversations and learn from one another. And if we can't do that, then we're going to be kind of stuck, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I am yes, I'm thinking that, this is one thing where creative people like you really help the process because a lot of people really have troubles having a good conversation and then putting it down on paper, right?
Hmm.
Really, really, those two things are really unique arts, I think, because people need to learn to listen better, have good conversations, share, and express without beating each other up. Number one.
Hmm.
Number two, the whole art of writing. Some people may never really get it because they have so much block in their brain and think they can't do it. They need people like you that are able to take that great conversation then and put that down and sound like them because that's your
Hmm.
whole thing is you're coming in trying to represent what they're all about. And I think that's important when they feel safe in that space, they're going to open up more. It's just like sales, the know, like, and trust factor. People need to know you and like you, and they get to trust you, and they open up in that space. And that's when really probably really I would think that's where the magic happens in writing.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I didn't think it was a skill that I had until later on in life when I started writing for a trade publication. And it's interesting because my mom has told me several times, she's like, you know, your grandfather just had a knack for having complete strangers come up to him and share their whole life story. And she said it's interesting to see me with that same knack because, well, and she has it too. Like she's really humble about her ability to get people to trust her right away. But I just remember going to a store with her one day and somebody came up to her and she was sitting there talking to him for like 45 minutes. And my brother and I were patiently waiting for her because we thought it was someone she knew for years. And when she got done with the conversation, we were like, "Who is that?" And she's like, "I have no idea. I just met him." And she's sitting there having a 45-minute conversation with a complete stranger. But I've been able to do that as well too. And I kind of ignored that skill set. And I
Right.
think there's just an aura about storytellers, like true natural storytellers have this energy about around us for whatever reason, and people just want to talk to us, they want to have conversations with us. And you do have to be a really good listener, and you can't just listen with your ears, you have to listen with your eyes as well too, and your body language is important. And you know how you respond too, you have to let them know that you're truly listening to them. Be
Right.
engaging, ask questions, you know, make sure you're repeating some of the information that they're giving to you so that they know that you're really following along with what they're saying.
Well, and you really care about what they're saying because when you do that, you're giving them those clues that you are keyed in, you care, you're listening. And, I always tell a story about a friend named Brian when I was a kid, the most active listener I've ever known, because when you were talking to him, he was like, oh, he was just so excited. His face showed it. I was so excited about what I was saying just because of how he looked, That's got me
Well,
more
he was,
excited. Yeah.
yeah,
And
he was
I'm so,
giving you that
yeah.
confidence.
Yeah, and see, I think you have some of that. I can just tell from our conversation that you have that calm, peaceful aura around you, whatever it is, and you're giving off vibes, telling people, "Listen, I'm listening, I care," and it's just how you come across to people. You're not busy interrupting and doing things. You're listening, and
Hmm.
I just think that's amazing. So, okay, let me ask you another question. So, practically, I want to just give some practical things. So with your business, somebody is sitting there, they're banging their head against the wall, they're having writer's block, they're crumpling up the paper and they're throwing it away.
Yeah.
They need your help. Well, how do they go about not just getting in touch with you, but how is the just kind of give us a short idea of the process. How do they get in touch with you and how does it go?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because recently it's been non-traditional how people are contacting me. So a lot of people didn't know that I was a tech writer. So when I was writing for a trade publication, yes, I had my own personal byline. So people knew me through that particular publishing company. And then they knew me on LinkedIn. But then after I stopped working at that trade publication, I went into different marketing departments. So my name was never on anybody's byline. It was always a ghost written piece. So when I started Mavens and my own writing company at once, Mavens got more popular than Z Inc. did fairly quickly. So a lot of people knew me through Mavens. And then me being a tech writer came up in secondary conversation and they were just like, wait a minute, we didn't know that. And they're shocked to find out that I have a master's as well too. So I don't have one degree. I actually have two degrees, and it kind of takes people back. So it's a fun way to open that up. But on LinkedIn, I'm very active, and I think my engagement and me responding to people and being very open and flexible with my schedule helps. So if they see me on LinkedIn, they generally connect to me via LinkedIn Messenger. Otherwise, on my website, if you just Google my name, a lot of stuff comes up and you can find my website. There is a scheduling link on there that people can schedule time with me. So I'm encouraging people to just click that link and schedule time with me because I try to be as available as possible. Sometimes I can't because I have three kids at home and I'm a recently new single mom. Unfortunately, my husband and I are going through a divorce, but we're still friends, but I've become really busy, but I try to be purposeful and mindful of other people's schedules. So one thing a lot of people have said that they like about me too is if something comes up on their schedule, they get kind of fearful of rescheduling. But I know things come up. It's manufacturing, and some people have families. So I don't get upset when people can't stick with their schedule. So if they need to reschedule and it is months later, I'm totally open to that. It's not offensive to me at all. So I let people know that, hey, if you need to reschedule this, if it needs to be on a weekend that I'm available, feel free to even do that. Most of the time I'm working in the mornings on the weekends because my kids are sleeping. So it's a perfect time for me to get one or two meetings in. So yeah, I'm very open about sharing my contact information.
Well, and what I love about, well, you are very flexible. Thank you for that. But also, um, what I love about what you're saying is you're taking into account other people in their life. And so
Yeah.
that again shows that you're caring because we are all busy. It doesn't matter if you're manufacturing or not. I mean, we're all
Hmm.
running 100 miles an hour, even when we're trying to slow down. Life is just busy and things change, right? And so
Hmm.
you're being accommodating. And that again sets people at ease when they're dealing with you through that whole process. And so, yeah, that's just amazing. So, okay. So, if people give somebody one tip, if they are just having a tough time writing something small for themselves, do you have a way to overcome writer's block in your life?
You have to take a break from concentrating on the writing. So I would highly suggest when you have writer's block, it generally for me means that I'm overwhelmed with a lot of things going on in my head. So I need to just separate myself completely from all of the electronics, all of the distractions, all of the emails, even my phone. And I will either go do something with my kids or I will go work out, or I will sit outside if the weather is nice and I will drink a cup of coffee. And sometimes I'll just sit in silence or I'll go for a drive. So it just really depends on how the person recenters themselves. You kind of need to have your head clear in order to start something new. If you sit back down and you just don't know where to start, one of my recommendations is just to take a blank piece of paper, whether that's, an actual piece of paper or if you're more digital nowadays, have a blank Google Doc and just start typing things out. They don't have to make sense. You can type words, you can type fragmented sentences, you can type thoughts that enter your head. Just start writing things down, just start typing things out. And eventually, what will happen is you'll have this massive brain dump and it helps clear your mind and you'll be able to refocus on what you're trying to write.
Well, and I think that is great advice. And actually, when I wrote my book, I got that same advice. I had a journalism professor in college years ago that helped me initially with some of those very similar tips. But also, one of the biggest things was to, relax and just really start writing and just let things flow and don't worry about exactly how everything sounds because a lot of times we're so critical of ourselves. You see that whole picture of somebody crumpling up paper and throwing it away, writing, crumpling, throwing it away. When I wrote my book, I wrote three-quarters of it before I read any of it. I didn't
That's
even read it.
awesome.
Because I was thinking I'm gonna start throwing chapters out right off the bat if I don't just keep writing. And so what ended up happening was I found there was some places I could move around in the book. I had ideas that actually fit
Mm.
better in another chapter or things that fit better here or there, or I could slightly tweak paragraphs and things sounded a lot smoother. And you find that it's easier to work within what you've already written out. And at least also you've gotten ideas, like you said, on the page, and
Yeah.
then you're able to work with that. And it makes it a lot less stressful. And walks for me are amazing in the middle of all those kind of things. You do got to kind of just slow down and
Yeah.
take
And
take a breath.
sometimes when you're taking those moments of breaks, you'll get inspiration from somewhere
Yeah.
else. So that's why I like going outside for a walk. I really like walking in the woods. Like we have a park where I live called Big Hills Park, and they have a lot of trails. I just really like going and being one with nature. That it kind of sounds hippy dippy, but I mean, I just like being one with nature. Sometimes I like going to outdoor music festivals too, because you're just sitting there and you're enjoying the music, and sometimes you need that energy
Right.
to pull inspiration from. So don't freak out if you get writer's block. It happens to a lot of us. um, the other thing to remember too is not all of us think in a linear pattern.
Right.
Sometimes we're thinking on different wavelengths and paths, and you just gotta kind of figure that out. And like you said, if you stopped writing, you probably would have had a harder time picking up where you left off. So
Yeah.
just write everything out and piece it together once you're done. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I've learned in that whole process too is to go with your gut.
Yes.
When you have feelings and I call gut feelings God feelings. It's just like that's really where you need to be going. As soon as you feel something, write that down. When I do my LinkedIn newsletter, I get a flash idea of what I'm going to do it about. And I just jot that down and I start writing. I don't spend a whole lot of time analyzing. If it's within the realm of what I want to be writing and what I want to be communicating, I just go with it. And it makes it a lot easier when you just relax because it does consume a lot of energy. And I can
Yeah.
tell everybody that it consumes more energy. And I'm sure you'd agree with this, Meaghan, when you're causing yourself paralysis by analysis,
Yeah.
overanalyzing everything and paralyzing yourself. That term is so true because you overanalyze, you suck the energy out of yourself, then you're exhausted. I mean,
Yeah.
I cannot write when I'm exhausted. I
No,
can't. I have to be fresh.
I can't either. And I 100% agree with that statement. It takes a lot of energy, and you really need to find what it is that can refocus your zen, because if you don't, then you're just going to keep struggling. And I've had those days where I tried to force something out and it just drained me, and
It doesn't happen.
it's depressing. It gets really depressing because then you don't think anything that comes out is good
Right.
content. So
Yeah.
don't overstress yourself out.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, well, listen, so many gold nuggets, so many mic drops in this interview, but for now, we got to wrap things up. So give everybody your major theme or gold nugget for today that you want them to remember, and then let us know how everybody can get in touch with you.
So my main nugget of information that I like to give people is that, don't shoot for huge success rates. A mentor of mine once told me, focus on 1%. If you're 1% better than what you were yesterday, then that's still a step in the right direction. So I try to figure out, okay, what did I do yesterday? What was I disappointed in? And how can I be 1% better tomorrow or today? And just keep going at that pace. And yes, you'll have your failures, but you're still on that path to growth and progression if you
Right.
do it and if you micromanage it a little bit. So that would be my gold nugget. If you want to get a hold of me, definitely get a hold of me on LinkedIn. I'm most active on there. Otherwise, you can reach me at Meaghan at Z-Inc, and that's INK and not INC.com. So again, that's Meaghan at ZIncSolutions.com.
And I'll bet that information is even on your LinkedIn page.
It is. It
So
definitely
yeah,
is.
and so as you all have seen, it magically appeared below her. It's in the comments. It's in the show notes. All of her information is clickable. It's been ticking along the bottom. Both of our information as we spoke today. So please get in touch with Meaghan, and it's definitely somebody you want to connect with, and she can help you out with your writing, and especially if you're in the manufacturing field. So I appreciate you being here, Meaghan. Hang tight. I'm going to say goodbye for now and send you to the green room. But I really, really appreciate you and taking the time today and your flexibility.
Thank you so much, Russ. I appreciate it.
All right. See you in a minute. Okay. I'm telling you, it keeps getting better and better. I am just so blessed to have great people in my community and amazing friends. that are willing to come on Marketing with Russ. So, hey, listen, I also want to just thank everybody who's been praying for me. And I just want to thank you for your support and all that is happening. And so just thank you so much. I appreciate that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about and you want to know more, you can definitely connect with me and I'll explain. But thanks so much, everybody. And, I appreciate you being here today. Again, we're here every Monday and Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. And we'll be here again next Monday. You got to join us. It'll be awesome. And it's going to be the 3rd of July. It'll be coming right up. So if you need anything and want to connect with me, remember, just go to russhedge.com. Russhedge.com is the place to go for all of my connection information. There it is. I knew I could get it up on the screen. And until we talk to you again, have a great day and a great life. Talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for joining us for this week's episode of Marketing with Russ, aka hashtag Russ Selfie. Be sure to subscribe in your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss a single episode. Have an amazing day.